Like a lot of this stuff could be fixed very easily. Like when I see or meet people like this, I'm like, man, I wonder what that's like to be that kind of person right off the bat that just looks bad to me. Like these secondary spaces just kind of get like sheetrock and baseboard. That looks like an afterthought. Or why I saved that Home Depot door, now it's my side door. It's so charming, so nice. Just throw that garbage out.
Twist the doors to enter into the butler's pantry.
I wanted to do this reaction video because I haven't done one in such a long time, and this came up on my feed. I kind of looked through it, haven't watched the entire thing yet, but I thought this would be a good house to walk through. So we're going to do one of our walkthrough videos. And again, in the spirit of these videos, I'm not trying to like elevate myself and belittle the person in the video or the designer or anyone in the video for that matter. What I'm trying to do is really just educate and really just give my opinion on a lot of these things and see what you guys think about it as well. The idea of this is not to just be like, hey, you got this wrong in your face. No, it's to learn, it's to educate, it's to make everybody better. Designers, builders, architects, you name it. As a matter of fact, if you follow my channel and you know I built this mantle behind me, I had my friend and mentor, Brent Hull, come over here and literally asked him, what did I get wrong? What could I have done better? What did I get right? Having your stuff out there in public, you're opening it up to scrutiny and criticism. Like the spirit of this is not to make these women, in this case, like look bad and make myself look high and mighty. That's not it at all. It's literally to educate. And actually, I think some of the stuff that I'm gonna say in this video, if they watch this, I don't think they ever will, but if they did, they'd probably be like, yeah, he kind of has a point there. So anyways, let's jump right into this and hopefully learn a few things.
So happy to have you with us for the first full video walkthrough that we'll ever do. It's a beautiful Greek Revival home built in 1902, which had an extensive and comprehensive remodel done over a 3-year period. So come in, we want to show it to you.
I'm gonna pause right there and say, I love the fact that she said it had an extensive and comprehensive remodel done. What she's communicating to us there is that like, hey, I know what I'm doing with this 1902 Greek Revival. I'm going to treat it as such. I live in a 1920s and 30s like historic Tudor English cottage style neighborhood, and what we get is my houses are like way cheaper than this one. We get these kind of entry-level buyers or like investors or flippers who come through and they don't have an extensive and comprehensive knowledge of what they're doing, and they kind of ruin the place. For example, my house had a bunch of cheap stuff done to it when I got it, so which is unfortunate, but I'm glad that she's telling us like, hey, I got this. I think that's what she's communicating there. And 1902 is awesome. For us around here, I'm in like the Dallas, Texas area. That's a bit of an older house. I just took a trip to Boston and learned that's not that old. We were walking around in buildings from like the 1750s, like before the country even started. So that's pretty crazy. But let's continue here. I love that she communicated that. That mantle is so nice. I'm a mantle snob a bit.
The vestibule is one of the coolest architectural features of the house, I think, and has the only original tile floor.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I love the little chippy pieces that create the pattern on the outside and
the kind of
ribbon. I agree with that. I'm gonna pause right there where we're looking at this tile overhead. One of the charming things about old houses is that they weren't perfect. Now don't get me wrong, I don't like when like handyman people do stuff that's off and like it doesn't line up and doesn't match, but there is something to be said about this kind of handcrafted where the tile isn't exactly perfect, where the grout line isn't exactly perfect. You're not using tile spacers, you're kind of just using the human eye and feel to get something done. I think we need more of that kind of texture, that human texture. A lot of newer houses I go into, like if you go into a model home in a development, it's like everything is just laser perfect and like factory finish. It kind of, for me at least, I don't like that. I own a laser. The guys that work for me own lasers and we use them because they're very valuable. But there is something that is to be said for that kind of handcrafted charm that isn't exactly perfect. And you know it when you see it. You know, like, oh, that's charming versus like, Oh, that's just bad. Like, you develop a taste for this stuff, and that is very charming, I gotta say. It's a beautiful image there.
All of the paneling in here is original.
I do like that
We had to
paneling.
completely redo the millwork at the ceiling here, which we actually had to do throughout
Now, I
the
will,
home.
this is gonna be my first critique here. I do like that raised paneling. The millwork at the ceiling, not a huge fan of that pilaster that has a crown. If you read the book, Get Your House Right by Marianne Cusado, highly recommend it. Such a good source of information. She talks about when you're stacking up moldings, you don't want to use moldings that are similar profile. That's a whole nother rabbit trail if you know what I'm talking about. But basically what I'm saying is the crown at the top where the door opening is very similar in profile and size to the one right above it. And to me, it just looks a little off. But it's not crazy. It's not like a huge deal breaker. And that's the thing I want to say, like all the stuff I'm critiquing is architectural millwork. It's not the end of the world. Like a lot of this stuff could be fixed very easily. It's not like you have to demo your house. You can just change some stuff out. So let's keep going.
The vestibule is a cool feature, though,
It is totally.
of a home of this era.
Yeah. And in this climate, right?
In this climate. Yeah. To open the first door, take your boots off, close the door, make like an air brake,
Yep.
and then open the second door.
Yeah, it's really a welcoming feature. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty.
That is cool. We don't
And
have
then
that
you come
here.
into the
Probably in a
foyer.
colder climate.
This is where so much of the magic happened. We wanted this idea
That
of just
floor
being able to see
looks
from the
so
front
good.
door, out the windows to the
All right,
back.
but I am going to pause it here. I am going to hit on a pet peeve of mine. All right, guys, look at the left side there, that left panel. That artwork light interrupts the molding, interrupts that panel molding. That could have been fixed so easily. Have your electrician drop that fixture and the molding could have ran straight across, because that looks like an afterthought, you know, and that's something that's literally you're pulling wires down like 4 more inches and then putting your fixture on. That could have been fixed so easily, unless there's something I don't know that's in that wall. But to get wires to move, it probably could have been done. But that just looks bad. It looks like an afterthought. And like you see the molding on the right, that big paneled wall, it would have been nice if it matched. But to see it bounce up and around, it just makes the molding feel unimportant. It makes the light feel more important. And it's strange because your artwork would have still been illuminated. And as a matter of fact, where she has that artwork positioned, it probably would have been illuminated better. So that one could have been done differently. Let's keep going.
Love how every detail makes it look like it could have been original. Like if you tell people
Yeah, so
you
let's
took out
pause
the
right there.
stairs.
Tapered baluster, stained handrail, painted balusters, painted post. That looks super traditional, and I think they did it. They
And
nailed
put
it
in
on
a
that.
new
It
one.
looks
The
beautiful.
specific things chosen
It
look
does
original.
look original.
Yeah.
Original.
Yeah. This symmetry down this line was so important. And I knew I wanted the stairway to go up the left and over, but that meant something had to fill the space on this side symmetrically. And so here's where our little secrets lay.
Yeah. Are these filled with stuff right now? No. Front
that.
All right, front
Front
hall
hall
closet.
closet.
I'm gonna
Yep.
pause right here. I like the fact that she dressed up her closet. Like, to me, too often, like these secondary spaces just kind of get like sheetrock and baseboard and just drywall. I kind of like the fact that she's like, hey, even in this little unimportant area, I want to do wainscot and wallpaper. And I think the wainscot's a good idea for a storage area. So you could throw boxes and hit the woodwork and you're not really going to damage. There's no drywall to damage there except for above where she has the wallpaper. But I think it was a good move. I like the beadboard wainscot, and I like the fact that it's not just this drywall room. So yeah, not a big fan of drywall rooms. Obviously, if it's a storage closet up near the attic or something, it's fine. Everyone's not gonna do up their closets like this, but I like it.
Yeah. And the paneling
I mean,
disguises, in a sense,
Obviously,
the dip
she's not
door.
trying to like, it's not like a safe or like there's not guns in there or whatever. But I like that she said in a sense, because if you look down at the base, you can obviously see that it's back cut to allow the door to open. I like it. I mean, to really make it a hidden door, you would have had to have the door in swing into the closet. Then that base would have been like a seam where they come together, but you would have lost a lot of closet space. So I think they made the right call here, and I think it looks good.
And then the other jib door reveals the powder room.
Right.
So right off the foyer, there is this room and the dining room. So this
So
room.
I am going to pause it right here as they enter this room, because there's something right off the bat that just looks bad to me, and it could be fixed very easily. So if you look at that opening that they're standing in right now, you'll notice the casing around it. It's not your traditional casing. It's what we would call a pilaster. So it's basically an engaged pier into the wall, and that comes down, but it sits on top of the wainscot, which is very strange. I can pretty much guarantee you that is not original to the house built in 1902, because they would have had an understanding of that you're not supposed to do that. What needs to happen is that pilaster needs to go from floor to the end of its support, which it's supporting the entablature crown going around the entire room. It needs to go all the way to the floor though, and then that wainscot would butt up against it. So pilaster, floor to ceiling, wainscot butts into pilaster. They've got it wainscot pilaster. So hopefully that makes sense. And what it looks like, you're going to notice in a lot of these critiques that I give, it looks like an afterthought. It looks like, oh, we put this wainscot in. Oh, you know what would be good? What if we trimmed out around this door? Oh, well, let's just set it on the wainscot. Like, it doesn't look intentional. So let's keep going. It doesn't look
You
intentional.
can kind of make it whatever you
So,
need to it, and you're
let's
just
keep going.
moving furniture. So now it's kind of a piano room, living room, and this beautiful color, which is beautiful in
That
my
mantle,
eyes.
And
that
this is
mantle is
fireplace
like-
number 1.
the greatest thing I've seen in this house so far. And it's crazy because that mantle is done so well that I highly doubt whoever did that mantle didn't do the paneling that I just critiqued. Because I feel like whoever did that mantle understood architecture, and I feel like whoever did that paneling it looks a little DIY-ish to me. I could be wrong. That's a guess though, but that mantle is on point. It's got the columns with entasis, got the Ionic capital, it's got an architrave frieze cornice. The dentil looks really good. It's very well proportioned. It's very pleasing to the eye. And you can see that theme of what I was talking about. You've got that wainscot, and then the casing sits on top of it, the casing being that pilaster. And I'm not a fan of that.
Original.
Original fireplace. I'm telling you, like, that thing is so legit. And I'm kind of this guy who's a fireplace snob, like I'm saying. I love fireplaces. I've bought fireplace mantelpieces just to have them. Like, I don't even have a place to put them. I just store them because I'm like, oh, that's a beautiful historic mantle. I want to save that.
This shot right here is kind of a big deal because this is the cover of my book, Establishing Home. And a lot of my heart is in that book. Like, for family and for design and just for the goodness of God. I'm just really happy about that, and I want everybody to read it.
Man, I don't know, like, that's so nice and kind. Like, she is so, like, sweet and gentle. Like, when I see or meet people like this, I'm like, man, I wonder what that's like to be that kind of person. Like, it's got to be great, like, to have that much positivity and be that sweet and gentle. It's got to be awesome. I can't relate to it, unfortunately. But even right here, pausing on this shot, that's a beautiful space. I will, though, critique this transition here. I want to zoom in on this transition. You've got this kind of panel on the side of the cabinet, and then you've got this trim piece that runs under the cabinet doors horizontally. that butts into the sidewall of the cabinet that then has this cove taken out as the sidewall of the cabinet down to the countertop. And to me, that is a rough transition there. Like that could have been, here's what I would have done. I would have basically that little panel that's on the side of the cabinet. It's a cool detail. I'm not against it. I'm not really for it either though. I like kind of just plain face frames, but it's not terrible. I would have made that big coved piece that sits on the countertop a solid piece, the same thickness as that little panel, and then had that go from the countertop up underneath that panel, which would have been pretty easy. We probably would have had to move that outlet, but again, moving that electrical is not too bad if you catch it before all that tile's in. But that's just a rough transition to me.
And this is Corchia
Yes.
marble.
Yeah. So beautiful. This is a fun story. You want to tell this story?
Well, these doors used to go out to the terrace in the back, and now it's the kitchen sink, so there couldn't be doors anymore. And so we repurposed the doors to enter into the butler's pantry.
I love a good salvage story. Like if you can, especially something from your own house, you can take it and put it somewhere else. And usually things like that only have value if they're original. Like you never hear of someone saying like, hey, you know that Home Depot door that I took off my back door? Well, I saved that Home Depot door. Now it's my side door. It's so charming. You never hear that with the Home Depot. And it's not Home Depot's fault or Lowe's, or it's all of the modern junk that we produce as a society. Nobody cares about it. They just throw it away. But when you have something that's handcrafted, you got these old exterior doors with the side lights. It's cool to bring those in and say, look, this was on the house since 1902 and we're saving it. That's really cool. And it's actually crafted and nice. Now, what I will say is the transom above these doors and side lights is not done right in my opinion. I feel like that should have matched the doors and side lights beneath it. And here's my biggest critique of it. You'll notice like in modern architecture, you'll see like sideways rectangular glass, horizontal glass. In traditional, you'll see vertical oriented glass. So look at the doors there. All the glass panes are rectangles that are standing up, but now look above. It's a giant rectangle laying down on its side. You could have easily fixed this by just having a local craftsman make you a sash that matches that. Those profiles are still available today, and you could have just popped it in as a transom, and that would have looked better. It does look a little bit kind of rushed and just like, hey, just throw a piece of glass up there with a little piece of trim to hold it in. I would have liked to have seen that continue across, especially in this house, but let's keep going. So they kind of walk through the kitchen and talk about appliances and how the space is used. Doesn't really pertain to what I'm interested in. But what I will say is those cabinets are beautiful. I would have liked to have seen something that's not just a 1x4 crown, because those cabinets are super traditional, inset, beautiful white oak. They look really well done, but that crown is just a 1x4. It's kind of like builder grade-y. I don't really like that. I would have liked to have seen some kind of white oak crown that had a little bit of flair to it. Nothing crazy. It could even just be like a simple colonial profile or a simple cove. But since the doors aren't shaker doors, they have that little step in them. It would have been cool to see something like that. And I would have liked to have seen those windows cased better.
Another very important part of this home, maybe imperative,
Yeah, actually.
is the coffee bar.
Yes,
This
so
might
true.
be my favorite cabinetry piece of all time.
And then
That cabinet looks
recessing it
awesome.
into this alcove.
We were going to use these waste slab tiles, and we had different sizes, and we were
Pause
going to
right
do
there.
like a picture.
So that cabinet looks really nice. I really like everything about it. I like that it's all inset. I like that it's all butt hinges. It's not European hinges. Butt hinges are one of those things that it's that detail where you could see the hardware on the door versus like the European concealed hinges. Super easy to put in, but you open it up and in a lot of them it's just this big mechanical like dinosaur arm coming out, and then it's like, whoa, that is strange, you know? So the butt hinges, traditional butt hinges are nice. That's a beautiful cabinet. Like, seriously on point right there. So I had to change locations real quick. Dogs are walking around in that room now where I was, and their feet are really loud, the claws on the floor. But let's get back into it.
Yeah. We found that brick underneath all kinds of stuff from the original brick chimney, and then cleaned it, and I think it adds such a neat
I was wondering about that brick.
element to the
That
room.
brick, I was like, wait, is there a fire? I don't see a fireplace there. She said it's from a chimney, but it's kind of strange. Like it's a little random. I understand like people like having some texture, but yeah, it reminds me of one of those, like I used to watch a lot of Fixer Upper, and like Chip and Joanna Gaines would be like, hey, we found this cool thing in your house, and then we found this old wallpaper and we framed it, and now it's a picture of wallpaper in your, in the hallway. Or just kind of this little artifact that you're infusing back into the house. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but in this case it seems a little random, like a little bit like, okay, so you found some bricks and then you just made this wall with them. I mean, it's a little random. Doesn't look bad or anything, but just kind of like a little confusing, because it's like, wait, is there a fireplace on the other side of that? What's going on there? But let's keep going. All right, I skipped that little segment there. She took it out and talked about the sauna. I really don't have an opinion on that. Oh, cool. There's a really good shot of the front of the house too. Beautiful landscape. Yeah, very, very Greek. Yeah, see how it looks like that? That's Greek revival right there. We haven't really seen the front of the house. I don't remember seeing this at the beginning. You've got this kind of pediment front at the very top. You've got this temple front with the columns as it welcomes you in. You don't have a base on those columns. That's a very Greek, like the contrast of the brick with the white. You've got this kind of Palladian window up in the pediment, which is, I don't think I've seen that before, but I really, really like it. It would have been cool. I think what could have made it better is if that Palladian window was trimmed out with like a smaller scaled down version of the big moldings that run around the house, but it still looks amazing. You've got this, what is that, a 9/1. It's a really beautiful house, and that landscape makes a huge difference. But it's kind of random of them to show this now at the like halfway through the video.
I remember looking at the house. It was December. It was snowy. It's frigid. And peering through these windows that were just completely cracked. The glazing was coming off. It was rotting wood. Looking into this room from outside and going, oh my gosh.
See,
completely redoing every single window.
That's the thing
taking
about,
every...
okay, so she saw this. I don't know if she's talking about when she bought the house. I don't know her story or the story of her as it pertains to this house. But that's why a lot of people don't like old stuff like this. Like these windows, it's like she's saying there stuff was cracked, the glazing was falling off, which the glazing is the putty that holds the window in the sash against the muntins. And that's a lot of work, like to restore an old sash. But when you do it, there's nothing like it. A lot of like the modern society like philosophy is like, oh, just throw that garbage out. We'll go down to the window store and then just get these double insulated glasses and put them in there. A lot of times they're vinyl. Not good in my opinion. I like the fact that she restored it, which reminds me of what she said at the beginning. She has done a comprehensive remodel of this.
Taking every pane of glass out, painting it, putting all the glass in, all that original wavy glass. Lots of work, very worth it. Mm-hmm. You just can't replicate this. Mm-hmm.
You can replicate it, but it's going to cost you a lot, and you got to find the right person to replicate it. It's just going to be expensive. I think that's kind of the deal breaker for most people.
With these, did I ever tell you that? Mm-hmm.
That concludes the first floor, which means, should we go upstairs?
I think we should.
Okay.
We should do the whole house. Let's go.
All right, so that concludes our tour of the Madison house, I think is what she called it, the Madison tour for the first floor. The second floor is coming up next week. So I will also review that one. There was a few misses there. There's a few things that I think can be corrected as far as like architectural millwork. But overall, I mean, she's an awesome designer. And I actually think too, if I pointed those things out to her and explained it from historic precedent, she would probably agree with me. And she may not agree with me, so there's always that. But let me know what you guys think about this video. I'm liking this reaction style video. I'm gonna get into these more. I used to do them more back in the day, but we're gonna get back into them. And then I will also be reviewing the second floor. And if you guys have any other houses you want me to react to that have like carpentry and architectural millwork detailed to them, leave them down in the comments below or email me, richard@finishedcarpentry.tv, and I'll check them out. But don't send me anything that's like modern. Well, send me whatever actually. But if there's no trim in there and there's no architectural millwork, I'm not gonna have a lot to say, so it probably wouldn't make for a good reaction video. But let me know if you guys agree with what I said, disagree with what I said, because I'm curious to see what you have to say down there in the comments.